this. It's known as Cynical Medieval Mercenary Simulator. To put it bluntly, not all of you are going to survive. But those who do survive will be in glory. So, simple, tell me what you want. Though with the people who are just starting out here, we can at least decide the company's origin. Rebuilding the company might be neat so that people get a bit of story if we want to go with new company. New company puts us with base with 3 dudes. Peasant militia means that we start off with 12 dudes and we can have up to 16 on the battlefield at once. But we're not allowed to hire anyone who's got who doesn't have mud in their blood, which means no hedge knights, no nobles, even sellswords are debatable. A band of poachers. We don't get to carry as much, but we're basically the Archer Legion. A trading caravan is that we start with 2 dudes, but we get better prices for buying and selling. And we're not formal mercenaries, we're traders. So, you know, getting renown sucks ass, which is the main way we get contracts in this game. Beast Slayers are all about, you know, murdering beasts. We're decently equipped for the job, and we're better at finding and killing them, but people don't like us because they think we're freaky and weird. Deserters are... We're kitted out like soldiers, but we have a noble house that wants us dead, meaning, bad news. And we always go first in the combat, which isn't as much of a bonus as you think it is. We can be cultists, where we have to sacrifice our own people every once in a while, but, you know, we're a cult. We can be barbarians. The problem is people don't like us for, you know, the fact that we're barbarians and raided the shit out of people. And then Lone Wolf is, we have an avatar in the world where if he dies, shit ends. And, we can't have more than the 12, so we always have to field our full roster. Or less, depending on who's gotten injured. But on the other hand, we start off with a Hedge Knight. Any opinions, folks? And whilst I'm not playing on Iron Man, for the purposes of being able to load up saves and whatnot, I am honoring the fact that if we get fucking wiped, we get fucking wiped. I'm cool with being a lone wolf. The elite few, I can do that. Anyone else have any other opinions? 1 for cultist, 2 for lone wolf, 1 for rebuilding company. Sid, are you around? You got an opinion on the matter? I'll wait for a few minutes more so people can get an opinion in. Ahoy, Satori! We're deciding how the company was founded. Would you like to offer an opinion? Gotcha. So just to refresh, given that you just arrived, rebuilding company is story. Peasant militia is bunch of dirty peasants running around and overwhelming people. Band of poachers is archer legion. Trading caravan is self-obvious. Beast slayers are a company of people who are not well liked because they murder beasts and they're weird. Deserters are kind of shit. Cultists are all about sacrificing other people. Barbarian tribes are northern raiders. And lone wolf is that we have an avatar that, should he die, the campaign ends. But also, we cannot have more than 12 people in the company at a time. We'll make you an axe boy. Don't worry about that, Sid. 1 or 2-handed axes. A new company is basically rebuilding the company, but without the story aspects that come with it. We're just currently founding the company, though, Sid, man. So if you want to throw in your opinion there, let me know. Don't worry, Renger. I remember angry Polish rat. There is no magic in the game that we can use. Magic in this game is sort of low. It's basically low power magic. Like, there's undead that can use magic against us, but that's it. Right now we're founding the company, so we just need an origin. After that, I can pick up people as needed. From what it seems like, though, with 2 votes for the lone wolf, will probably be the company few. Essentially how the origins work is that they'll give us bonuses and penalties based on the origin. Like, the lone wolf is fucking difficult because we only start with 1 guy and we're permanently stuck with 12 people. Which means we can't have spares. Anyone who's in combat is going to be on the front line. Well, we can't have any replacements in case, we need people to sit out for the occasion. Our only bonus, which, by the way, if he dies, we're screwed, is 1 hedge knight who's got kick-ass equipment to start off with. But, for example, the Peasants' Militia is the opposite. We start with 12 shittily equipped people, and we can have up to 16 people and 25 in the roster. But we can't get any nobility, no nada, for actually getting good quality stock. We're basically a bunch of dirty hobos. Poachers are Archer Legion, which they have standard roster, and they're quite good at scouting out and moving fast. But they travel light, so we can't carry as much. Trading Caravan is all about not getting renown, which sucks ass because Convoy, the renown is how we get contracts. And our majority of our pay, beast slayers aren't very well liked, but they're really good at fighting beasts. The thing about Lone Wolf is that the guy starts off with heavy armor, experience, and good weaponry. He doesn't suck. He's quite good for what he does, but if he just gacks it out of nowhere, we're done. Having good armor does prevent getting XCOM'd immediately. I'm going with the whims of fate here. Very true. But the game does encourage you to be able to rebuild after a devastating loss. It's currently front-running with 2, so... if we have a campaign loss once or twice, I don't mind. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to find something that's all about banner. Our proper banner. One appropriate for the Thracian Crusade. That's a flail. I'll go with this one. Trust me, I wish Mordenheim had more to do with it, but after 2 acts and doing a lot of campaign stuff, there wasn't just a terrible lot we could do with it. Well, I'm not hearing anything other than, say, the... Problem is, that's not terribly helpful. You know what? Let's see how bad this goes. Veteran economics, combat, and starting funds. FTL would be fun, yeah. And I do have it, I just don't have the enhanced edition. So, here we go. You walk the stands of a jousting arena. Moldy fruits and vegetables litter the floor. Dried blood freckles the seats, and silence fills the air. When you sit, the wood of the place seems to groan in unison as though discomforted by the haunt of a rare visitor. In your hands is a note. Looking for hardy men, knowledge of the sword preferred but all welcome. It is an odd note, its purpose long since served. What draws your eye is the price offered to the task. More crowns than you could muster in 5 tournaments. If the coin is to be earned, then to hell with the joust and the sparring, but you're not one to suit up for some other captain's orders. With all that time you've earned over the years, you imagine you could start your own mercenary band just fine. And that's what I'll do. So, our avatar starts with armor that's 260'd out. Holy sh... shit! Okay, so as a frame of reference, we're gonna slap him with student. We're going to slap him with... Yeah, I could easily find something like that. So first of all, initial levels are yes, yes, and yes. I want to get brawny. Alright, so I know I'm not doing a great job of explaining things, so I'll do that here in just a minute. My initiative score is pretty shit being in this heavy armor, so... Because I need to survive, I'll go with Colossus for more health, then Brawny for not being as fatigued as being in my armor. My initiative no longer sucks. Oh, absolutely, dude. And it's appreciated. No, I want to play things that people want to see. Okay. So my starting traits are actually pretty damn good. I start out with some pretty fantastic... So the Avatar character is actually not terrible. So first things first, explaining things in detail. We start off with Sellsword's armor, a Basnix with mail, and a longsword. The HP of armor is important because it takes the hit first and then our hit points. If we hit 0 hit points, we are potentially maimed, but most likely dead. But as long as we are above a few hit points, we'll be fine. Wearing armor is obviously useful to not get killed, though there are some things such as maces, flails, and axes that are better at penetrating armor than others. The fact that we have a 260 to 210 armor to start off with means that anyone who tries to fuck with me, to put it bluntly, starting off is gonna get ruined. Now, every unit has traits, both good and bad. The Avatar apparently has really good traits. So, first things first, as being the player character, my resolve is better. Resolve is morale in this game. The better you resolve, the better you resist mind-afflicting effects. I'm a night owl, which means I have better vision at night. Actually pretty realistic. And then I have the lucky trait, which gives me basically a 10% chance to force them to hit me twice if they want to connect with an attack. All in all, pretty good start. Starting off with a longsword is also pretty fantastic. As you can see, this thing does 65 to 85 damage. I have a max HP of 86, and the damage can go higher than what's listed. Needless to say, weapons in this game are fucking deadly. Now, to explain the stars over here, characters have aptitudes when they're recruited that we can't see, unfortunately. We can only try them out to see their traits. Having 3 stars means they have fantastic potential in there, 2 stars means that they have good potential in there, and 1 star means they have a better than average potential. As you saw when I was leveling up, stats are randomized on level up. So sometimes you may want to pick other things depending on where the numbers lie. It's a bit of dice there. The perks we can reliably pick, and they go down the row like this. Now, as the Avatar, I've got access to 3 dots fatigue, 3 dots melee skill, 2 dots melee defense. In translation, holy fucking shit, I'm bonkers. My melee skill is pretty great. Two-handed swords are actually quite efficient at using their action points to do damage. So I'm actually pretty well suited for the task of not getting horribly mangled. But this doesn't really help us out too much. We need to go actually recruit people. What does our world map look like? Better than the other one I had, to be quite honest. There was a giant mountain range running around like this in the middle of the map that divided it in half. It's really annoying. So let's see if we can't find some stout swords. Problem is, I have 900 crowns. 900 crowns are not gonna... 900 crowns aren't going to do us a terrible lot of good in hiring good men. So people are we're probably not buying cell swords off the top. We could get a deserter. Bruno the Night Slayer. Oh, another hedge knight. A sword master. I just don't have 6,000 crowns to go buy this shit with. So first things first, we are going to go ascend. We're gonna go to a peasant village and start collecting some hardy recruits. We can either head to the south towards Salthaven. That's actually pretty militarized down south, so... Adelshofen. He could. Swordmasters, unfortunately, while they're a powerful background, have the problem of getting old. Because they're pretty well aged. Now that we're back on the main road, Adelshofen will be our first stop. A mod allows for female mercs. There is a miller. Continuing the family tradition, Erlin learned that the miller's trade from his father. A drought-meant business was running slow for him. When Erlin was not able to pay his debts anymore, his life was threatened by ruthless money collectors. He had to disappear. Remembering his cousin Malte, who had made a decent living in the mercenary business, Erlin decided to do the same. Trying him out, he is loyal but craven. You know what? I'll take him for right now, just so I have a body to throw at the situation. Not everyone I pick up needs to be a named character. As you take stock of your inventory, a rather well-to-do man spots you and heads your way. He announces himself as being in the employ of Albrecht the Steward, an influential person in Adelshofen, and wishes to talk business. You hand your duties over to Erlin and let the man lead the way. Albrecht the Steward standing by his window, peering out while nursing a mug of mead. He doesn't seem to be really focused on anything in particular, and even talks as if he couldn't care less about the conversation. Grave robbers are plundering the cemetery. Again, I'm not really asking much of you, sellsword, other than to go there and put an end to this foolish business. Go to that cemetery and kill every grave robber you see. Got it? Good. Now, because we're sellswords, we can negotiate over our contract. I'm not going to do that to start off with because I want the money and I want the reputation that goes with it, because the more that you do contracts for people, the more they come to trust you. But if you negotiate and hardball it, the gains are negligent. So if you do a few contracts essentially for the freebie, well, not the literal freebie, but for the cheapo, you get better contracts down the road more easily. 300 is not so terrible, but I do need more men for the occasion. So we're going to head north and let that burial site be ignored for the time being while I gather more stalwarts. Unfortunately, we got here at night, so we're going to have to camp out and wait for day to get more recruits. It is now dawn. It falls to you, the commander, to see that the company succeeds not just on the battlefield, but also in fame and riches. And so you spend the evenings pondering about a bigger plan for the Thracian Crusade in your tent while the men talk and laugh about the fire. You're never going to become a legend simply by chasing brigands and doing small-time contracts. What do you proclaim to the men the company will set out to do? So, these are known as ambitions. By completing ambitions, we jack up our renown rating and get nice things out of it. For now, we're going to need allies. Forging a bond of friendship and trust with one of the towns will get the company better prices, more volunteers, and more steady work. Okay, so we've got a farmhand, and a beggar. This guy is hesitant but a survivor, meaning he's very likely to survive a lot of bullshit. This guy is fearless. While some men earn their keep by killing, others look down below their own 2 feet, wondering what crops the soil may hold. Burke knows a couple of these kinds of hoes, all of which the farmhand can swing with ease. After the weather soured his harvest, the farmer decided to choose a vocation not wholly based on the whims of Mother Nature. Growing up on a farm gives a man all the nutrients he'd ever need, and Burke certainly took advantage. And then I'm going to get Gus here because, well, he's got a giant pike. A farmer hates to see his land fertilized in blood. That's becoming more and more common these days. Guess here is a burly, sweat-sculpted farmhand. One day he realized his strong body had more valued chopping heads than milking cows. Gesselher shares a lot in common with drought animals. Just point him in the right direction. So we've got 4 able men for the situation. Gesselher has a fatigue up, melee skill up, and initiative up. Burke is melee up, fatigue. Holy shit, he has got a lot of fatigue. He could equip some good armor. And then Erlin's got shooting skill, melee defense, and initiative. But he's also Craven, so he's a bit cowardly. But he's here to stay. So 2 farmhands, a miller, and Moy. Does anyone want one of those characters? Probably a no, given that I don't even have armor for them. The grave robbers are here, just as promised. You catch them mid-dig, your brothers jumping over tombstones with their weapons raised. Alright, so as you can see, these guys have armor and weapons. What we're gonna do is try to get them to come to us unless they have a surprise archer. Honestly, he should be in the back row, so we're gonna pull it back a little bit. Oh, actually, okay, good to know. I only have 1 strike, as I only have potential for 1 strike. I don't have 2 lighter strikes. So every character has 9 AP that they can drop in a round. Once they're out, they're out. Most melee weapons take 4. Mine takes 6. Every action we take builds up fatigue. By wearing heavy armor and having lots of gear on us, we reduce our fatigue cap. So you tire out quicker by the virtue of not having as much. And yes, we'll be looting shit from them. We're gonna need to. I don't have the money to outfit people. We have 900 crowns, to put it bluntly. That's not shit for money. Alright, so he's gonna try and stab a fool. And he did significant damage. I'll pull out the dice log so people can see it. Thankfully, I'm a badass under this setup. So, Longsword. So he got his artery cut, and the other guy got lucky and it missed. He unfortunately missed there. The men with spears are very accurate. So, yeah, these guys are not going to last terribly long. Like that. He's already dead. The problem is this guy's armed with a polearm, so range penalties affect him in a nasty way. Not only that, his arm muscles got punctured, meaning he's at a neg 25 to hit everything. Thankfully, because his artery is split, I can't do a massive swing right now. But I can just wreck a fool. Slain. And unfortunately, one of our guys died as well. Such is the fate of a mercenary in this circumstance. Ooh, he got his shoulder punctured, so he actually might get somewhere. If we can try to cover for this guy, we might actually get a survivor out of this. Well, you get hit eventually, but my armor can, soak significant amounts of damage. Oh, he used the stun maneuver on me and it worked. So he's pretty dead. Oh, he tried to run away. Oh, I'm fatigued, so what I need to do is reduce the amount of damage on me around. He's got his shield up, so... Needless to say, we are making not a single bit of profit on this mission. Well, there goes his head. Slain. He's broken. He's trying to get out of combat at this point, but he's unable to disengage comfortably. They are now both broken. Well, Gelsphere lived. He just has a weakened heart, meaning his hit points is, you know, permanently reduced by 30. The good news is now we've actually got gear to give to the next round of recruits. Or sell. I might just have to do another solo op with the other guy just to make sure that we've got, you know, money to get new people. Albrecht the steward welcomes you into his room. Did you kill them all? Is it secure? You shrug. Nobody will be digging up graves anytime soon. Now, an unfortunate expense of having to keep our gear going is that we have to buy tools. Spears are thankfully very good for making sure that, I think it's like control click? Needless to say, we have no ammunition, we have no tools to fix our situation with. We're not exactly in a great place, but we'll see what we can do about improving the odds. Bergwall has nothing to offer us. We may just... There's not a lot of towns that way, so actually we'll head back to Lurchenfest. Actually, no, they have no jobs for us, so actually... Angarod. I know I'm kind of going schizophrenic with my directions, but I'm still learning the new map. No jobs here. Damn it. I guess we'll go to Flismoos. If it really... there is no jobs, we'll head back to Adelshofen. Flismoos has work for us. A substantial amount of work, even. How much are tools here? It's still really expensive, unfortunately. As you take stock of your inventory, a rather well-to-do man spots you and heads your way. He announces himself as being in the employ of Burke the Guildmaster, an influential person in the Flismoos that wishes to talk business. You hand your duties over to Gezer and let the man lead the way. As you wait for Burke the Guildmaster to explain what he needs your services for, you contemplate how silent and eerie the whole settlement was when you first arrived. Burke the Guildmaster raises his voice. This place is cursed by the gods and haunted by unearthly beasts. They come at night with glowing red eyes and take lives at their whim. Most of our cattle is dead, and I fear once that there is no more, we'll be next to be torn apart. The other day, we sent our strongest lads to find and kill the beast, but we haven't heard from them since. He sighs deeply. Follow the tracks and hunt down and kill those creatures so we can live in peace again. We are not wealthy, but all chipped in to pay for your services. 310 crowns. It'll have to do. Right, he still needs to heal, so he should have been in the reserve. His heart's weakened, his fingers crushed, his arm muscles are pierced. So meaning it's a solo job. Great. A peasant hacking firewood straightens up before you. By the gods, it's nice to see you, sirs. I thought I heard word of some sellsword stomping around looking for beasts terrorizing these parts. You ask if he's seen anything that might help. He pitches his hands over the pommel of his axe. I can't say that I have, but I've heard some things. I know a man and woman not far from here. Got taken. Well, they disappeared together. What is it? They're dead in the woods now, barnacled up in the trees, hanging loosely by the gut, you know? Oh, wait. Maybe they just gone off on their feetsies to shack up together. Hell, that gal hated her father and the kid was a nobody with a flair of good looks and charming tongue. Yeah, that makes sense. He pauses, then glances at you. Anywho, I'm certain those monsters are afoot. Keep an eye out, Sellsword. We move on. Well, there they are. 3 dire wolves. At night. That sucks. Holy shit, they can move. Unfortunately, I missed. That was a hit to the head armor. Hit to the body armor. So I managed to tear into a few of them quite nicely. It might not be, but my torso armor is not exactly doing great. I haven't been able to repair it. Ow! And I have broken. Them's the breaks. How lucky you've made the worms who now feast upon your failures as the mercenary captain of the Thracian Crusade. The men who died here will soon be forgotten, but with no shortage of work for hired swords in this world, there will always be the next mercenary band to take their place. The Thracian Crusade is dead to the last man, your corpse now among the bodies. No rank and order to be followed now. Was it fated? In your death will others rise, or will the world be as it always has been? The problem is, no backup sucks. It sucks balls. Not having archer support or a spear line is, yeah. That's going to take some work. You are the second in command of a mercenary company that has been tracking a brigand named Hogger for some time now. An unexpected turn of events leaves the company in shatters, and you in charge to rebuild it to its former glory. Yeah, fighting alone is not something you want to do. It all went wrong. 2 days ago, the company was hired to track down Hoggart the Weasel and his band of raiders. But it was them who found you first. An ambush. Some joke about horses cut short by an arrow to the throat. Arrows shooting in from everywhere and nowhere. Men holler and scream, a great volume before death. As the hail subsides, you draw your weapon with the rest of the men, only to collapse to your knees. An arrow has punctured your side. You shout in pain. A harried glance sees the men charge without you to make a valiant last stand. Met in force as steel clashes with steel. You meet eyes with the captain, a last nod before his throat is cut. You're left in command now, what few men remain. Trembling in pain, you lean on your sword with all the will you can muster, slowly rise again. To the end. So first things first, range combat is now a thing we have. Our first guy is crossbow. A crossbow usually spends their round shooting for 3 and then reloading for 5. Wait, no, that's reloading for like something else. Otto has a spear, which gives him the spear wall ability, which means anyone who walks into his kill zone gets stabbed for free. Oscar has a wood axe, or has a two-handed axe, meaning he can rip and tear by splitting men, doing a 360 spin, or splitting someone's shield. Very useful in the right circumstances. Unfortunately, he went around the kill zone. But Oscar's right here to tear him apart. Crossbows can be used in melee, but you can't reload in melee. Flanking is a very important maneuver to use. Note that ranged characters can shoot their buddies in the back, so clear lines of fire are recommended. Oscar requires 6 for his actions, but by flanking we do have a bonus from the surrounded bonus, and it helps break his morale. He's in full rout, but he won't live to see it. You're alive. You've won. The adrenaline fades in its wake. You can't help but sink back into the ground. Gritting your teeth, you snap the arrow shaft. Your chest heaves, pain for breath. Everything blurs. The company has been devastated, cut down but to a few men, and the bastard Hogger did justice to his name, fleeing like the weasel he is. What now, Captain? A voice says from behind. It's Oscar the Wolf who sits down beside you, bedding his bloodied axe on his legs. You turn to him to reply, but before you can answer, he continues. Bernard's dead. They slit his throat. He was a good man and a damn good leader, but all it took was one mistake. That makes you the one in charge now, don't it? Oh shit, it's Star Platinum! Thank you kindly. I do need to change that. I said I would. I'm just gonna move.
Oh, hissy.
Still, thank you for the 6-month Star Platinum. I'll still hope to be worthy of your patronage in the many, many years to come, hopefully. Yeah. But thank you very kindly. Malte the Hound joins the two of you, still breathing heavily. Then Otto. Save the ceremony and anointments for another day. Let's give the men a good burial and return to Steinhausen to collect our pay. The Weasel's men are slain after all. Besides, Captain, we ought to see that wound before we lose you too. Wouldn't leave Malte the Hound in charge, right? So be it. How do we look this round? Oh boy. No easy road between Grottenhaven and Talbeck. Looks like... yeah, this is interesting. Lurk away, my dude. You have every right. It's gonna be weird to get to Steinhaven because from what it looks like, you have to go Staunhausen, Schwitzmark, Gorbenstreff, Holzenwald, and go around the long way here. Or you could just walk over the forests. Anyway, our starting men are Otto, who's gluttonous and superstitious. Oscar the Wolf, who is fearless and lucky. And then Malte the Hound, who is fat and a survivor. They come with okay gear, but for the area, it's more than workable. Anyway, we must head back to Staunhausen. Alrighty. There's that. Yep, okay, that actually does change up his stuff. So, Adalbel the Hound. Given I can actually safely change those out, I'll go with Sidman the Wolf, Adalbel the Hound. Otto's just kind of bleh. What a sorry display it must be for the onlookers as you arrive in Steinhausen. 4 bloodied and beaten mercenaries down on their luck. The man who hired the company days ago, Havard of Steinhausen, no doubt expected you to return in a more glorious fashion. Still, he welcomes you to his house and offers bread and wine while a servant fetches a healer. Few words are exchanged except for the occasional grunt and wheeze as an elderly man with shaky hands tends to your wounds. A pin pierces your skin, the first of many stitches to come. You grit your teeth till you think you hear one break. Havard of Steinhausen sits beside you and asks if you took care of Hoggart. You shake your head. We killed his men, but the weasel eluded our blades in the end. The healer waves around a glowing fire poke, suggesting that he wants to push it into your wound. You nod and he does so. For a moment, that's all there is. You're not a man, but a pinch of fire, flesh from flame, a golem of pain. Havard of Steinhausen hands you a goblet of wine. You did well, sellsword. The brigands have been removed, though it is a shame that Hoggart still lives. We expect to get paid for this. Havard of Steinhausen gasps. Well, naturally, 400 crowns is agreed upon. He gestures towards a servant who rushes to your side with pay in hand. I wonder, may I make use of your services one more time? I'd very much like to end the headache that is Hoggart once and for all, and I'd pay you again, of course. Another 400 crowns, shall we say? Sidman the Wolf scoffs and turns to drink more wine, but Otto stands to speak. Yes, the company's in ruin, but we will rebuild it. Without the Thracian Crusade, Sidman the Wolf would drink the crowns away and end up begging on the streets. And Adalbel the Hound, by the gods, we know he'd go chasing the women folk until one stove his rotted head in. We need the Thracian Crusade. It's all we have. What do you say, Captain? Sidman the Wolf burps and raises his cup to you. Adalbel the Hound playfully thumbs his nose and nods. Kill the bastard Hoggart or not, it's up to you, Captain. Yes, we have unfinished business with Hoggart. Havard of Steinhausen claps his hands in satisfaction. Excellent! My little birds will need some time to figure out where Hogard is hiding his hide now. In the meantime, I suggest you see about stocking up on supplies so that you'll be good and ready to end this when the time comes. I shall see you in a few days' time at the latest. As you leave Havard of Steinhausen's house and stand on the outskirts of Steinhausen, Otto seeks a word with you. We need more men, Captain. I know I gave a big speech back there. Bravado won't do shite. We need more warm bodies in the ranks. Figure we can find 3 good men, buy them some decent weapons, and dress them in the best armor we can afford. The man pauses to glance around. But this bodunk town's got a desperate peasant or two looking for a new life. But we could try traveling to Schwitzwalsmach in the southeast. Them city folk aren't as hardy as these country bumpkins. We're more likely to find men with fighting experience stomping the rest there. 2 miners and a mason. The mason's honestly not a bad pick. The miners, I find, don't have... Yeah. A miner will be used to physical labor, but breathing in the dusty air of the mines may have taken a toll on his health over the years. We already have an Otto. How about Kurt? Kurt is insecure. I can't afford to have him on board. So we're going to leave him behind for the time being. But there is a professional armorer here. Expensive as hell, but if we ever need good stuff... So the Schwitzwalsmach. As Schwitzwalsmach's skyline appears on the horizon, Adolbo the Hound seeks a word with you. Never been to Schwitzwalsmach before, but I've been around ones that look a lot like it. Cities like these are great for selling goods, as all these prissy, pompous pricks love to have their goods delivered. With so many merchants, you can almost find anything you need, too. Keep an eye out for bargains and don't get swindled by them cutthroat merchants. Simon the Wolf sees fit to add his own opinion of what you should do. If there's a good tavern, I say that's where we should go first. Nothing helps a man down on his luck more than a good pint. God knows we've earned it. Adolbo the Hound shakes his head. You say that every time we stop into town. You'll say that even if when you're already drunk. Caw-caw, Adderlion. Lots of contracts here. What kind of men do we have? We've got a militiaman, which honestly, he comes pretty well pre-equipped. A beast hunter. He wasn't so expensive. He's not terrible. Cultist. Death Wish. I'm not dead yet. The character doesn't care about receiving injuries and will fight on regardless. Nice, I want him. Problem is, I can't afford another one of him. As much as I'd love to have Steinar, I need money for payroll. Do you want to be a cultist? Alright, let's see what his traits are. Impatient and short-sighted. Oof. He acts first in the very first round of combat. Backgrounds have different ways of influencing a character's stats. Fantasy XCOM's a good way to put it. So yeah, I guess we have a cultist on board then. So, Burkhart comes pre-leveled. Has range defense, health, and resolve. So we'll take some range defense, melee skill, and some health. Hackbird, on the other hand, can be. Okay, fatigue. His stat spread's more defensive. Not the greatest stabber in the world. Good resolve. Actually, pretty great resolve. Kind of a meh fighter, all things considered, but potential. Burkhardt is definitely a professional, though. Good melee capabilities, and by only further honing his capabilities, he'll kick ass and take names. Hey there, Tieftus. We just did a lone wolf background, and that kind of just blew up in our face really bad. Then we just did rebuild the company for story. Sorry about the mistake on the name. I am taking folks if you'd like one. Grub infest. Camp out for the day. Oh, crap. Ah. Live that you may live. He lives twice who lives well. He who dies is... He dies not whom fames for survive. That is some weird... live-bys. Okay, let's see about these apprentices. Glutton. Fear of greenskins, but a night owl. And no trades. Night blind. Honestly, the artisan's probably going to be our best pick. So, we'll take the third man. He's going to need kit, so... we can get some leather tunic. Get him a spear. And a cheap shield. Oh, he's got 2-star archery? Holy shit, he does. Yeah, we can work with that. Oops. Well, then I just kind of wasted some money, but that can be used to equip the next guy then. Do they have any form of archery? Not for a reasonable price. Do they have a hood available? Yeah, they've got a hood available. We're gonna want to hold center with, well, actually, first, let's get these men in proper marching order. Well, Mastery comes at level 5, so you can technically use any weapon safely. So most people just put on spears for people because they're hyper accurate. The damage they do is minimal, but the effectiveness is maximal for early stuff. Plus, Spear Wall is a great ability. I am not ready to fight dire wolves. Havard of Steinhausen is pacing back and forth when you find him. The healer who damn near killed you with the fire poke is standing nearby. He's picking chunks of dried blood out of his fingernails. Havard of Steinhausen claps his hands. Finally, you're here. I have good news. We managed to hold one of Hogard's former men. My good friend here has had a nice little talk with the man, and I now know where Hogard's licking his wounds. The healer clears his throat, splaying his fingers out like a maiden looking to paint them. He speaks as if he's identifying a disease he's about to excise. The brigand known as Hogard is hiding in a small hut in the steppe to the southeast of here. Based on my most civil discussion with one of his men, Hogard knows the Thracian Crusade is on his heels and will have gathered more men since the last time you've met him. Nodding, Havard of Steinhausen waves you off. Good luck, Sellsword. We'll return with his head. Actually, do I want to fuck with those direwolf? Not when it's turning night. Not when it's turning night. Nighttime is a terrible time to fight in. Unless you know the enemy has many archers. They've got a poacher. So, honestly, having one poacher is not too particularly bad. We can just snipe him at the beginning of combat. Alright, so we're on a lot of uneven terrain. We're gonna stall and try to figure out where the hell the... Oh, there's some of the enemy. Spears up. If they're all up there, we may have to actually charge them. Oh god, I didn't realize he didn't have a shield. Oh, that's a problem. Time to interdict. Ow. Got him in the head armor. But we can flank right here. That's unfortunately a miss. They're hitting us in the head a lot. Yikes. Try to get him with the stun. Yep, he doesn't take his next action. Ah, shield breaker. And the man is slain. Unfortunate on that one. They're doing a lot of headshots. And there goes the cultist. Unfortunately, it was a very unfortunate engagement circumstance. Having to fight up a hill. Hey, Drag Free. There goes his head. Just playing Medieval Mercenary Simulator. That sounds comfy, my dude. Another miss, unfortunately. The combat is turning into our favor. Oh, that's right, he had retaliation up. I'm a fucking moron. We're going to shield break him. He is now utterly surrounded by goons. Oh, yeesh, I'm on the big screen. Hello! Oh, shit. Burkhead just took a nasty hit. Maybe we hold off on his action for right now and get other people to stab. Yeah, Adderline unfortunately just ate it. Well, to be fair, he's in full chainmail, and he didn't drop it like the bastard he is. But we got some food, some money, some trade goods, and basic supplies, including a bow. Burke's going to be taking a break for a while because his arm got cut. 4 kills for Otto, 1 for Sid, and that was the entire body count. Yeesh! Otto went fucking mad there. Yes, you can be. Hoggard lies dead in a pool of his own blood, skewered into a grotesque and panicked poise. He didn't weasel his way out of this one. You put a boot on his corpse and look to your men. For the company, for all the men who've fallen. Otto the Hound spits on the dead man's face. Let's take this bastard's head and get back to Steinhausen. Time to get paid. Sidman the Wolf is now a student. And we will increase his weapon skill, his melee defense, and then his health, because admittedly it's been a bit better. He'll heal within the day. Otto will increase his health, his stamina, and his melee offense. Buckert needs to take a break. And Coda the Artisan can now drop the spear and start working on ranged abilities once we get ourselves a quiver. Never mind. There's less classes and more of weapons. Backgrounds heavily influence your stats and can affect things in events. Give me a role you would intend to serve on the battlefield, and I will do my best to fulfill it. Adalbal the Hound joins your side. Got a moment, Captain? You nod to him to speak his mind. The battle has left some gear worse for wear, and some of the men got a good nicking too. We can patch up both men and equipment while marching, but it's a lot faster to set down and do it. Of course, if we make camp, we should be wary of ambushes. A campfire in these parts can be seen from every which way. I'll keep it in mind. Yes, you can. Do you want to be a professional archer background, though that's going to be costly, a boyer, or a poacher? We need to go to the woods to go pick you up. The company returns to Steinhausen as victors, their heads held much higher this time. The Thracian Crusade are not the size that they once were, but they're still a force to be reckoned with, as Hoggard learned in his final moments. You carry his head in a sack that you empty in front of Havard of Steinhausen's feet. He jumps back, but the healer quickly picks the head up, stares at it, and nods. Havard of Steinhausen approaches the brigand's bloody face and eyes it carefully. Yes, that's his ugly mug, all right. Servants, pay this man his money. Coin in hand, you raise your voice to the men. As long as there is blood coursing through our veins, as long as we can hold sword and shield, there shall stand our company. Through the realm, the people will know the Thracian Crusade. The men cheer. Otto puts his hand to your shoulder. You did well, Captain. No matter where you lead us, the men will follow you as brothers in battle. As brothers! There's nothing wrong with having a firing line. Be who you want to be. Renger plans to be a tank, but we need to find a good body to fill that. Though Otto does serve as the front line for right now. Actually, we should probably take off this shield so Otto has a new shield. We're going to need multiple people in heavy armor. Don't think that one person fulfills a singular role. You have your option of single-handed or two-handed axe. What's up? Gotcha. Sorry, there is a process in the background of getting things moved and whatnot. And yes, if you have an axe, the other one can be used to take up a shield for one-handed. Cultists would probably be things regarding to more mythical events. Unfortunately, given he's dead, we don't get to see what his events turn out to be. You find Albrecht of Steinhaus studying a few things on his desk. He trails a finger to the edge of one map and continues on to another. I need an escort for a caravan to Goldstein, a day southeast of here. Will it be dangerous? Of course. That's why I go to you, Sellsword. Are you interested? That... That's not a lot of money, but that gets us to an area that gets us more money and not have to use our food, so... 200 crowns for the job. We'll take it. Oh, shit, we actually got raided in the night. Uh-oh. We are not ready for 7 of them. There is no magic in the game that we can use. Some more fantastical enemies can use them, but humanity is not capable of magic. Oh no, that's just a setup right there. But I can't make use of it because I'll hit my own ally in the process. And that's one of our own just dead immediately. Or could be maimed. But I think that's Sid who just went down. And Adobel just died. Oh, absolutely, especially when we're in no armor mode. The fact we just got a 7-man drop out of nowhere is... Ow. At least they're not paying us per head. He is in full route right now, so... Coda's brutalizing the hell out of that one. Needless to say, I think we just lost all of our starting companions besides Otto. Run them down. We will get vengeance for our fallen. Okay, so he's missing an eye, which means Adobel just lost all of their range skill. Sidman's alive, but he's lost an ear, which means his initiative's a little shittier. So, Sidman actually got on by pretty lucky for that one. Adobel, on the other hand, just lost their entire purpose. Let's see how good of a shot. Also, student. Range skill up 4. Health up by 4. And honestly, stamina up by 4. No, to be fair, you don't really need the stamina. You kind of got a great starting stamina, so... I mean, we could retool you into a fighter, but you're not exactly built for that. That, or we could just start trying to bump up your resolve to make you a company sergeant. Let's go with melee skill, resolve, and we'll go melee defense. No, he's basically crippled for life. He's losing half of his effective range skill. Even if... So that +4 bonus would just be a +2, effectively. It's probably better to turn him into something like the company sergeant or a shield wall. Really up to him what he wants to do. Got Rooney. Any preferred weapon? health, stamina. Honestly, take that range defense. So I guess you're literally trading spots with Coda here. Yeah, to put it bluntly, we flat out need more men. So we need allies, because trying to get more men when you're not ready for them will screw you. While camping alongside the road, a colorful wagon trestles on up with a clanking, jingling musical in modesty. You didn't think it a particularly big car, but about 15 men in weapon inexplicably pour out of its back. Painted faces, musical instruments, juggling balls, long swords for swallowing, wine jugs for fire breathing. The troupe of entertainers fan out and demonstrate their many talent as their many talent shows, though you already paid for their services. When they finish, they clap, they stomp their feet, and freeze before you. Hands out, smiles across their faces. A white-faced mime ironically speaks. What say you travelers, care for a show? A mere 200 crowns to entertain you all evening. I can't afford that, so we're good, thanks. Yeah, we should probably get the knife off of him as well. But we can just give Coda a flat better dagger. Daggers are better than knives. Oh god, don't give me another round of brigands. I can't handle brigands right now. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. And they're the good kind, too. Spears up. Oh, fuck off. That was a headshot. Fleeing was probably smarter. Fuck. Yeah, let's just get out of here. Trying not to fuck up on my first few contracts because that hurts for reputation, but I'm out of here. That was indeed a throwing axe. And it hit Adobel in the head. Yeah, he's just dead. The merchant who hired you lies dead at your feet. He's not exactly face down, for that part of him no longer exists. Blood flows across the ground in spurts as you cannot help but stare at the summarization of your failure. One of your men spots a twitch, but you know better. Nothing can be done. The rest of the caravan is in even worse shape. There's no point in staying here. Unfortunately, just the fact that we got hit rapid fire was just very unfortunate. He got the perk, and that's it. we need just men right now. So, as much as it sucks, let's take this butcher and this miner. The butcher has an iron jaw, while the miner is a brute and an optimist. Not the best skill distribution, but hey, we'll take what we can get right now. The miner having brute. Not one for delicate attacks, the character will use full force for additional damage when striking an opponent's head at the expense of some accuracy. If we give him, like, the big boy sword... Well, not the big boy sword, the big boy axe... We may have something here. Oh yeah, absolutely everyone needs hats. Too bad I don't have any money. He's got at least the mouthpiece, but... Got enough payroll for 3 more days. You enter the tavern and garner a few looks with your arrival. Men whisper to one another. The men oogle as they tend to do so. The bartender fists a cloth into a mug, then calls you over. You're that mercenary people's been wondering about. Curious, you ask how he could know, being that you're not the only man walking around with a sword. He laughs. The eyes. That's where I can see it. You're a man who lives on the most dangerous sort of prey. A life of taking lives is a world in itself. But you seek those whose lives have gained such odd values that their death would be but a monetary transaction for others. A purchase is placed, and thus you become the means of a transaction. Is it so? It is so, isn't it? You're a bone collector, my friend, a gravedigger paid in advance. You nod, understanding. Suddenly a man comes up to you and explains that the local figurehead is by the name of Roger of Goldstein wishes to have your ear. When you turn back, the bartender is gone. Roger of Goldstein settles down into his chair, laughing to himself as he does it. Don't be alarmed, sword. But they say ghosts are afoot. Yes, the local peasants are poisoning my mornings with constant talks of ghosts and goblins. They say that these supposed creatures are turning the cemetery upside down, raiding the graves to enlarge their army of some nonsense. Obviously, it's just the work of some spade-wielding men intent on robbing graves for jewelry. I've seen it before. He looks down at his hands, briefly chuckling. Anyway, I can't let it rest because these peasants won't get off my back about it. So to ease them, there's you. I need you to go to the cemetery and clear out any troublemakers you find. How you do that is up to you, but I'll go ahead and suggest a good steal, if you know what I mean. 90 in advance, 370 when the job is done. I'm not in a position to really argue the point, so... At least that might be enough for some hoods. How much can I make payroll? 2 more days. The crossbow does better armor penetration, but it requires reloading after every shot. It also can be used in melee once. It's also slightly less, has less range. The bow, on the other hand, can effectively fire twice in a round, but it's also less accurate because it requires more skill to be more effective. Alright, so we gotta head out there to get to our graves. All in all, we're off to a great start. That elbow got one shot to the head, I have to assume. We're getting a lot of headshots on us recently. You eye a tombstone of a mound of soil unearthed at its base. Blots of mud lead away like a crumb trail, and there are no shovels, no men. As you follow the lead, you come across a band of undead moaning and groaning, now staring at you with insatiable hunger. Oh, fuck me. Can I get something here? Yeah, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and say get the wounded in. Autosaves happen. Because I'd like to get something in. But the problem is that his arm is cut, and thus, yeah, the other guy's got a busted elbow. Okay, so he's got a fractured elbow, which makes melee defense not as feasible. This guy might actually have a problem. You know what we could just do? Camp out. Bandages are used to cure hemorrhaging on the field. They are not used to treat wounds. That's what our medical supply stash is for. Wait, did I just... Yes, I did. They should be out there, shouldn't they? Nope, I did a stupid. Just to actually get, you know, them out on the field. Get our axemen out on the flanks. No shields. Okay, here we go. That's one hit. Honestly, move him up where he's not on low ground and get up a shield wall. You're the wounded one. Well, it hit the guy in the back. I ain't gonna complain about that. Auto failed to get him to screw off, essentially. We want to get in close with this guy to stop him from using that polearm against us. At this point, it's just going to get into close range fighting. Oh wow, we actually hit the guy in chain. That's unfortunate. Wow, knife to the head. How many headshots have we gotten in this short while? I know it's a 25% chance to get hit in the head. This seems like a lot of headshots for early game. Well, there goes his clothes. He misses again. That's a frag. Hit to the body. His arm's broke. Good solid hit for effect. And Axe Boy just ate it. But that's a clean kill. Thankfully, it looks like we're just tearing them apart right now. Archer needs to hold fire because we've got way too many people surrounding this guy, so we'll risk hitting our own people. Oh, that's right. The undead come back if you don't make them dead. I forgot about that. Oh god, no, our old guy just came back from the dead. Oh boy! And he's armed with a giant fuck-off battle axe. Oh, he's fatigued, too fatigued. We're gonna run them down. He does indeed have a hat, which didn't survive the battle. I really need jobs that, you know, get me some armor. Ten arrows is plenty for a fight. You just need multiple people with more arrows. Roger of Goldstein listens to your report of the undead and shrugs. What a shame. He nonchalantly sips at the rim of a gauntlet and pitches a hand to the corner of the room. Your pay's in that chest. Himmler will see you out. A 2-star contract already. I can't handle that. Buckard leveled up, though. Honestly, Steel Brow is probably a perk I want to start slapping on people. But he's also got one of the best hats. What's his stat distribution looking like this round? Kinda not great down the board. Well, to be fair, it's 25% to hit someone in the head short of specialty weapon. I'll get him some extra fatigue, so he can wear some heavier armor later down the road, and I'll get him steel brows so his skull doesn't pop. Coda, having hit level 3, will get Bullseye to reduce range penalties for indirect fire. +4 to shooting skill. +3 to range defense. And it'd be kind of a waste to not get that fatigue up, so... Ironically enough, Coda is probably going to be a heavy armor user in in using bowcraft. It's weird. Anyway, he's going to be getting back to the rear. Well, we've got more people. We've got a thief, a peddler, another butcher, a mason, and an apprentice. Honestly, I'll take one of the apprentices. Egbert the Coward's not exactly a good dealio. I'll take... Are you a coward? Eagle Eyes and Dastard. Yep, he will fucking bail. So we'll go with this guy. We have enough for one more day of payroll. Oh god, fuck me. Another goddamn caravan mission. Unfortunately, no. The guy's gonna start at wavering morale and is the first one to bail in a fight. He has a trait for it. You find Gothard the Trade Master studying a few maps on his desk. How much are you gonna pay me? I need to be paid more. 200 for the job. Fuck. I need the work. I can't afford to... So, the apprentice is fat. We can stick him with a pike and put him in the back row. Hartwig is huge and hesitant. But damn good melee skill. Yeah, no, he could be something if we're careful. 1 star in melee, fatigue, and 103. Yeah, that could get really good really fast. He just has to survive. And being huge while his defenses are screwed, that could be really funny in a good situation. So let's give him a axe. Yeah, that's the key word, if he survives. Oh, wait, we have ambers? We can sell that at Celtici. While the company takes a short rest, you sit down to examine the wound where the arrow punctured your side not long ago. It's been healing slowly and still aches if you move too quickly, but things are getting better. Otto joins you, seizing this opportunity to talk to his captain. So the way I see it, nobody knows about the Thracian Crusade yet. We don't want to hunt ragtag bands of brigands through the woods forever, but we'll have to make a name for ourselves first as reliable swords for hire that can get things done before the noble houses take notice. They'll want to use the company for far better paying tasks, I'm sure. He adjusts his weapon belt and continues. Just keep in mind that the High Lords are playing a dangerous game and we don't want to get on their bad side. There's enough stories of people who cross them only to end up quartered and fed to the pigs, and they have the means to quash even a company of sellswords. He pauses for a short moment, then adds another thought. The guildmasters and councilmen are running the villages and towns too, have a good memory. We depend on them to hire the company for now, but having some influential friends may also help us get better deals with the merchants. A company of 7 brigands. Thankfully, they seem to be content to fuck off, so... Having reached Saltkai, the caravan's wagons are immediately unloaded and their goods taken into the nearby warehouse. Once it's all cleared out, the leader of the group hands you a satchel of crowns and thanks you for making sure their passage was a safe one. Well, we at least made it. Don't have a choice. I need the shields. Yeah, you can sling in this game. Oh, they're coming after me. Or they're not. Hey, what contracts do they have available? Harwood comes with a small boy racing at his side. When they get you, the pair talk at the same time, stop, and start again. You hold your hand up, and then they point to the little boy who immediately says... that Bruno of Saltkai wishes to see you. You then point them to the battle brother who says a local bitch has birthed puppies and maybe the Thracian Crusade could take one. Pursing your lips, you tell the boy to take you to his master who is already found waiting for you. Bruno of Saltkai settles into his chair, laughing to himself as he does it. Don't be alarmed, Sellsword, but they say go Swordfoot. Yes, the local peasants are poisoning... Yep. So, looks like it's another corpse for the undead. Judging from experience, this is a good payment for the task. You will receive 100 in advance and 390 when the job is done. Honestly, that's good pay, but that's probably going to hurt us. But another round with the undead is not... How the hell am I going to get over there? 3 dire wolves in the middle of the day. This may be a good opportunity, actually. Yes, you can get war dogs in this game. Stall for now. That's one down. Hold position. Now tear the beast apart. Fold into the enemy line and crush them. Oh shit, that was the wrong one. Well, that may have just screwed him. And try to do a knockout, which actually worked. And the butcher's gone. Well, he had potential. Yeah, he's just gone. Well, let's see if there's anyone for recruitment here in Saltkai, then. Just a vagabond. Sidman the Wolf. I will give crippling strikes. And then we can upgrade his melee skill, his melee defense, and his health. That sucks, though. He would have been a great warrior. But unfortunately, the weak have no place here. Tombstones fall over as a group of Nebuchadnezzars clamber over them. They appear to have been having something of a feast. A few of them still gnawing on the arm of this or that leg, presumably the limbs of your supposed grave robbers. Nebuchadnezzars are unfortunately cannibals. They will eat their own dead to power up. They are not good people. And there's a lot of them. Shield up. Spear wall up. Damn it. Hold the line. Good head. Spear wall up. We want those free stabs. Especially if it breaks their morale. Because that means they fight less efficiently. They are now in place. And we are now moving in. Spear wall is no longer useful, but... Wow, there goes his hat. That's a frag. Gonna back off for the moment here. Stall. Round swing and hit both of them. Jesus, they've been hitting nothing but head. It's actually getting kind of on my tits here. He's in full route. Can't take a quick shot here without risking. There goes his ugly head. Oh, he bled out? Son of a bitch! And yeah, he's just flat dead. So there goes the highest level member of the company. And subtle as hell. I can barely build this company up with people dropping left and right. True, Otto's still around. Shield expert. Engelbert just made it to student. To try and get people in, yeah, but I may have to rescind that rule because the second we seemingly grab people, they drop like flies. You find Bruno of Saltkai nestled into his chair, holding a candlelight close to a well-worn scroll. He talks without looking up. My problem, did you take care of it? You nod. Wouldn't be standing here if I hadn't. Bruno of Saltkai tips a hand in the corner of his desk. Your payment, 390 crowns is agreed upon. Oh, we have no provisions either. Of course, it's fucking expensive. Kind of. You can get away with that. Has the company been starving the entire time? Yup. They went hungry for a bit. Well, that's because we can't get any actual fucking armor. So, Halston the Younger folds his hands together when he sees you. This might be a strange question, but how interested are you in making a delivery for me? You explain that for the right price, such a journey would be a welcome departure from the usual killing and dying that goes on around you. The man claps his hands together. Excellent! Unfortunately, I don't expect it to be quite like that. It's enough important to garner unsavory attention, which is why I'm looking to hire cell swords in the first place. It's going to Goldstein a day or so northeast by road, where a man by the name of Rolf of Goldstein is waiting for it to fall into his hands. So you see, this won't be the departure you speak of, but it can be a fine payday if you're interested. 130 crowns to just do a walk. Boy, it's a walk, alright. So I'll probably rescind the rule for the time being, if only to just... Oh wait, that's an elite, not cheddar. Let's not fight that. I'll probably rescind the rule, but also make sure that, you know, not immediately bring people back from the dead. Have a chance to cycle through people, but given how quickly the body count is going... Right. No one's going to be here right now. Well, we got paid. That's the important part. The cowards here. Wolf and Gunpert. I haven't had tools in ages. Of course, they're an arm and a leg. It's the 2-star contract. I can't deal with that right now. Oh, ambush trade routes. No wonder why the prices are shit. While walking the streets of Goldstein, you come upon a crowd standing around a hanged man. He must have been some notoriety. The folks are muscling one another to try and get a turn at cutting a toe or finger off some sort of hanging heirloom. An old man is quickly elbowed out of the mob. He turns to you, voice raspy, with his bony fingers tented like sickly ribs. "Ah, sell sort are ye? Of course, I can smell your business, the purchases you've made. Say, would you do a bit of work with me? I need a number of that dead man's fingers and toes. It's for me work, you see. I'll give you 500 crowns in return for it." You ask why he needs that particular man's appendages. The crooning shoulder-cowed man laughs, a heckle if there ever was one. "Ah, good question. The manner in his walk from the hangsman nudes with a penchant for violence, and an unerring strength to see his desires through. The toes and fingers of a simpleton won't do. I need a man of unclinched cruelty, and the only one I see right now is swinging by that there rope. So what do you say? 500 crowns, remember?" It seems that Engelbert wants to give you a hand. Wait, what? Oh, he gave him his own finger. Well, fuck. Engelbert the butcher spits and says he'll do it. You tell him that he's not exactly the thieving sort. He shakes his head. "No, I mean, I'll give him a finger, just one. It'll be a doozy worth its weight in gold as far as this old part's concerned. As far as you're concerned, Captain, I want half the reward." The creepy stranger nods with a smile, cracks his dried, flaky skin. "I thought he was gonna go butcher the guy, not give him a fucking finger." Yes, a man who would do this would certainly fit the profile of the ingredients I need. Do it! Before you can even agree to this, the butcher grabs a tong off the hanging nearby wall, leverages on top of an anvil, wedges a finger between the pincers, and presses his knee to the handle, promptly severing a finger all in one go. He wraps his hand around before giving up the extremity to the stranger. There you have it, one especially cruel man's finger. The stranger grabs it as though he were the key to the world. "Marvelous, you think," he says, but it's hard to hear as he hurriedly gives you some crowns and runs off. It's actually more than you originally agreed to. The butcher has certainly earned his half, and you hand it over. So he's now permanently maimed and suffers a minor skill hit, but we get money out of it. Well, he's pretty fucko insane, so that makes sense. Deciding that Goldstein is a good place to invest your efforts, you decide to offer the protection of the company and offer up any work suitable to your talents. You act like a gentleman in your dealings with the locals and encourage the men to mind their manners while in the settlement. There was of course some griping at first. Otto was sorely disappointed with giving up brawling with the farmers, especially with the Thracian Crusade spending so much time in Goldstein. But you convince the men of having a friendly base of operations is important in your line of work. It meant getting better prices on the market and more people willing to join your motley band. It's also much less tiring not having to dodge the militia all the time. You even enlisted the men to do some small tasks in exchange for nothing but goodwill. I found that brat who wandered off and dragged him right home. Robin the learner brags, quickly outvied by Burkhant. I went to the market for an old spinster, split her firewood for winter, and even put out her washing, but I draw the line at rescuing treed cats. That's right, trade is going to be fucked here for a while. And if we can't repair our gear, we're in for a bad situation. So let's head back to Wunstenberg and hopefully find ourselves someone willing to sell some tools. Much more reasonable price. Pelts aren't worth as much, though. To be fair, he got half of the money for that as well, so it's not like he didn't make some money off of that. The good news is, with that money, we're actually able to afford some decent armor. We'll give Otto the padded leathers. No, we'll give him the mail. He doesn't move very much. Is there anyone here who wants to join us? Ooh, there's a Houndmaster. There's also a servant, a brawler, a messenger, another apprentice, and a witch hunter. Unfortunately, the witch hunter's a bit out of our price range. The Houndmaster is not a bad hire, all things considered. And I'll take a messenger. 300 crowns should keep us tidy for a little while. The messenger is really good at range defense. The Houndmaster has minors and fatigue. Oh, great, he's greedy. But he's got really good melee defense, while the messenger has no traits. The messenger also has a lot of fatigue, so if we can get him a shield, we may actually have some good stuff going on here. He understands a basic philosophy of combat. Keep your fucking head down. That's the greedy one. If I remember correctly, didn't Drag Free... Yeah, Drag Free wanted to be a... Maybe I can get the other shield and just have more bodies. Hats, shield, sell off the other trophies that we have. We have a lot of axes on this team. We really do need more spears, but the problem is, no one's been giving. We've got enough to make payroll for one more day, so we need to just find any job we can get our hands on. Here it is. A woman runs up to you. She brings her children with, not exactly taking precautions with a sellsword. One of her children swings their arms around your leg. He's back! You look down and grin, suddenly trying to shake the bastard, though he just takes it for play. The mother retrieves the spawn before pointing up the road. Roger of Goldstein's been looking for you. Tell him I fetched you. Maybe he'll come and fix our well once he knows I've done a favor. She looks world-weary, dragged to the hills by the cheeriness of her children. While you wait for Roger of Goldstein to explain what he needs your services for, you contemplate on how silent and eerie the town and the whole settlement was when you first arrived. Roger of Goldstein raises his voice. This place is cursed by the gods and haunted by unearthly beasts. They come in the night with glowing red eyes. Yes, one of these. We gotta go monster hunting again. 640 crowns. That'll put us away quite nicely for the time being. Actually, we're friendly with them, so... 710 crowns to get the job done. Should we succeed, this will put us back in the black. Though, to maybe be a bit more secure in my finances. That should be payroll for 2 days. Let's get some hats on. Here we go. We're about as well prepared as we can be, given the situation. Coda's going to be the one with the extra bandages, given she's got the fatigue to carry them. I am indeed ready for Iceborne. You come across an eviscerated cow with half of it cast atop a fence line and the other half scattered a good distance across the grass, about as far apart as the entrails would allow. An attachment of gore if there ever was one. A farmer approaches, tipping his hat out of his eyes. He's done that. I didn't see him if you were wondering, but I did hear this goat fuck of fiasco before you. Hearing it was good enough for me to stay low and out of sight. Please, if you're here to find those creatures, do so quickly, because I cannot afford to lose any more livestock like this. Four dire wolves. All armed universally with shields, we may actually have a chance. Now the good news is we can shoot over the the shoulders of men without risking friendly fire. Ooh, a headshot and a nice stab. Shield wall up. Shield wall up. By having two brothers holding shields up together, they have much better chances of not getting horribly ganked. Gisbert nearly ate it there, but he's not dead yet. That thing's morale is tanked, so we actually have a good chance of actually making it through this. Shield up, drag free. Shield up, Engelbert. We now move up and impale him on the spear. And a shot puts him down for good. Dakota moves up to support the next part of the line. Yeah, this battle is all but won at this point. Still should be careful. Gisbert will take his time to, relax, given he was the main focus of the previous foe. He's in full rout. Both of the beasts are in full rout. Just cleaning up the mess at this point. And a fight without a single casualty or maiming. This is a good start. We're making more of a reputation as being monster slayers than we are slayers of men. Your employer, Roger of Goldsea, may not believe what happened here without evidence. You order the men to begin taking pelts, trophies, scalps, whatever might show off your victory here. It took until day 9. We've also been in approximately, let me check, because Otto's been in all of them. Eight battles. Melee skill, melee defense. Let's get his fatigue. Yeah, let's get his fatigue up right now. In either case, it's finally money. Roger of Goldstein's feeding one of his dogs when you return. The mutt drops its bone to sniff at what you've brought. The man points at the pelt. What kind of foul thing is that? You shrug and you toss it onto his table. The dog pokes its nose at one of the claws, growls, and begins to lick it. Roger of Goldstein smiles briefly, but then goes to his bookshelf, picking up a wooden chest and handing it to you. 710 crowns, was it? You should know that you brought peace to the people of Goldstein. You nod. Does their happiness also come in crowns? Roger of Goldstein frowns at your greedy humor. No, it does not. Have a good day, mercenary. In either case, we'll need to head up north. Get to switch Vermont. Kinda wish I could be paid to do this, but unfortunately... there is no spear. Oh, there's a small band of brigands over there. With a number of 5. And their fort. A poacher and some raiders. They're also not armed with shields. One guy's got a flail, which is dangerous, but... some guy's got javelins. The hell? Oh. Spear wall is up. They're being quite cautious about their approach. So let's take full advantage of them being up on low ground. Javelins inbound. And we are starting to take our first cracks at this guy over here. Shield wall up. Spear wall up. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. There is a solid crack to his skull. Oh boy. Coda got a shot through the cheek. Leg is bruised. Engelbert's taken a stun. I need him to die. And he's down. Yeah, we can't easily get in there, though flanking would probably be the best idea. Nope, we're going to get engaged with the javelin thrower so we don't have more coming our way. Solid hit for effect. Engelbert is thankfully taking shots very well, but... where do we shoot from here? Well, stray shot hits the other raider in the chest. He's pulling out a fucking warhammer, so he's gonna try and crunch us. His morale just tanked. So, we're in a good position there. He is now very much wavering. We try to hit the other guy in the skull, but that's not doing terribly much. Engelbert, or Gisbert, will stall for the round. Drag Free gets his chance to pulp someone. Gonna try and break his shield in the meantime. Gisbert will take his time to just defend. Robin does another poke for effect. And this guy has the rotate ability, so he's able to switch out for his friendly. Which means we have a fresh asshole right here who needs a lot of punching. And Coda just put an arrow through the guy's head and killed him. So Coda's now going to get over to where she can actually be helpful in this situation. Enemy killed. Otto is too fatigued to make more attacks. Mangle this guy's ear. Robin takes another stab. Enemy killed. Buckard does a nice solid hit on him. Coda's basically done for the combat. Friendly needs support, so we're going to start moving in friendly troops. It was a fairly even combat. Both sides had a potential to do damage. He is now in full rout. We are running them down. And was killed by Burkhard. Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Drag Free, Coda, Burkhard, and Engelbert the Fingerless all were good. Tools, medicine, crowns, new kit. We're going to need to rotate our wounded to the rear. Coda now being level 4, we will give the Anticipation. This allows them to get bonus range defense when they're being shot, depending on the distance. Extra range skill. Honestly, they got more than enough stamina right now, so we will also bump up health, and we will go with, honestly, melee defense. We can repair our own things, but that probably would be better in the long run, yeah. Engelbert is probably going to get crippling strikes. Health. Melee skill, and just to get this ahead of time, fatigue. Because when you start equipping heavier gear, you watch your fatigue just drop like a rock. Burkhart. We will give him shield experts. Melee up. Health up. And fatigue up. Drag free gets student. Range defense up because no shit. Melee skill up. And then health up. The food's not going to last terribly long, but that supplements our meal for a day. The level cap is 11 for getting perks, but otherwise you can level up indefinitely. Yeah, you just stop getting perk points after 11. Oh, look, more brigands. Sitting around and jesting with the men while they check their kit, hone their blades, and mend their armor, your mind wanders off to thinking of new ideas for improving the company and its reputation. We need a battle standard so we're recognized from afar. Having one made is costly, so we shall gather 2,000 crowns for this. The first Hohenheit company just destroyed them. Which is a damn shame. I would have liked to have taken advantage of that. We're still short on tools, so let's hope Schwitzmark has something good. They do have a contract, and there's a local holiday. Sellsword, Beast Hunters. Lots of Beast Hunters here. Lothar the Younger crosses his arm and purses his lips. Ordinarily, I wouldn't ask some sellswords to guard a caravan, but my usual crew's a little out of it. Sickness, drunkenness, likennesses, I think you get it. What's important here is I have important cargo going to Hohenwald about a day to the east, and I need someone watching it. So, 2 crowns per head we arrive with, up to 20 heads, and 130 when the job is done. Fuck. Gonna be spending more than we make on tools, but we'll try to go somewhere else for those pelts. On the road again. How many weapon types are there? There are specifically the following: mace, flail, hammer, axe, cleaver, like meat cleavers, sword, dagger, polearm, spear, crossbow, bow, and throwing. You may have seen a longbow, but you bet your ass I'm not buying that. We barely have money to pay for the company. Well, it's a quiet run, but I'll take a quiet run right now. Oh, we barely got ammunition left over. Where can we go for work? Weinfeld seems like it would be a decent place for work, so let's head over there. Dire Wolves were to the south, but I need to get to the next contract. Wolfmen drag 3's leg for 30 crowns. Rations are too expensive, but I need them. 3 days of provisions will be enough for the local area. Who's for hire? A miller and a vagabond. And a 2-star contract. You find Conrad the steward reading a scroll. He throws the paper at you and asks to read off the names. The handwriting is difficult, but not so more than the names themselves. You stop and apologize, stating you're not from these parts. The man nods and takes the scroll back. "'Tis all right, sellsword. If you were wondering, those were the names of the women, men, and children who have passed in the last week." Last week? There were a lot of names on that list. The man, seeming to read you, nods somberly. "Aye, we're in a bad way. So many lives lost. We believe this to be the work of foul creatures, beasts beyond our ability to reason. Obviously, we'd like you to go and destroy them. Would you be interested in such a task, mercenary?" 130 in advance and a 530 when the job is done. We'll take it. Yep, it seems like we're less mercenaries and more of beast hunters. Dire Wolves 4. Oh shit, I don't think I reorganized the line. Uh-oh. That's not good. Shield up. Shield up. Smack on the head. It's not easy peasy, but fuck up the shield, the spear wall. Fuck me. One-on-one, our men don't stand the best chance. Well, goodbye his ribs. If this is a total rout, then I'll just reload and get, like, the full company out here, because that's supposed to be what happened. Yeah, because 4 dire wolves against 4 men is not ideal. Are we already fatigue broken? Holy shit. There goes his hat. He's in full retreat, which means he's gonna get himself killed. Oh, they rallied. Shit. One of them rallied. The best one he can stab at is at the back there, but unfortunately that didn't work out. Ow. Wait, hold on. Is that gonna load me the fucking... Okay, good. Autosave right here. Unless that was literally all the guys that just died. Okay, no. So I actually can bring, you know, the... Oh, I only had one extra. Let's actually arrange us in fighting order. That'll properly do. Call it a scum, but I did intend to at least get the archer out. Because, you know, archers in this game actually make a fucking big difference. Shield up. You need a new shield. Holy shit. Not being able to shield up is actually awful. Shield up. Shield up. One stun for the round, meaning that I can take the time to try and get the other one. He's out of AP. Drag free tears right through that guy's torso. His leathers are getting torn right up. Engelbert shields up. Because he's kind of getting overwhelmed over there. Gisbert is almost down. And he's down. That's one. Oops. My condolences, cat. The fact that they've got the AP to attack a shit ton like that is very difficult. We will focus on him. Another hound dead. Right, his leg's crippled right now. And someone else just gacked it. Not 100% sure who that was. The brothers are now going to surround the foe and stab the shit out of him. Oh, Coda's out of arrows. Enemies in full route.